Good afternoon and welcome to the Tameside Reporter Sports Show. We're at Micklehurst Cricket Club this week and we'll have an interview with first team captain Stuart Chamley coming up. We'll also be talking about all the latest developments from Tameside's football teams. So we'll start with Glossop North End then, who have appointed Paul Phillips and Steve Halford as co-managers after the pair left Stalybridge Celtic last season. Mark, what do you make of that appointment? Can the pair take Glossop out of the Evo-Stick First Division North?
Well, you'd think so, wouldn't you? Because of course they have managed Hyde United in the Evo-Stick Premier Division, got them to 3 consecutive playoff appearances, then went to Stalybridge Celtic in the National League North. So it won't be the first time that the pair have managed in Step 8 football. But you know, looking at the record over the past few years, there's no reason why they can't.
Well, Mark spoke to Paul Phillips earlier today and you can hear that interview tonight on Tameside Radio at 6 o'clock on the Sporting Spotlight. But we'll move on to Curzon Ashton now, where it's been a bit of a mixed week, but we'll start with the good news. Youth team captain Ollie Thornley, the 18-year-old midfielder, has signed a new contract with the club. Mark, that's a big statement for Curzon Ashton, keeping hold there, well, the biggest talent.
Yeah, absolutely, and I know that manager John Flanagan rates Ollie very highly, as does youth team manager Mark Bradshaw. And I actually spoke to Ollie on the phone last week to talk about the youth team's treble winning season, and this Sunday they take on Southport in the Open Cup final, so they're on course for the quadruple. So, you know, captaining a side to a treble, there's no reason why he's been offered a contract.
And he's obviously made a few appearances for the first team last season. How did he fit into the side?
I thought he fit into the side very nicely. Obviously there was some tough competition in the form of the likes of Stockport County, who were challenging for a playoff spot, but you know, being put in at their deep end, I thought he coped quite well with it.
Elsewhere, Curzon Ashton have also signed midfielder Paul Marshall from Alfreton Town. He's a former Droylsden and Stockport County player. Mark, what will he bring to the Nash?
A lot of experience, as you said then. He's played for a lot of non-league clubs, a lot of football league clubs. I saw him when he played for Stockport County during their season in the National League. Although they did go down that season, I thought he brought a lot of stability to the side, and he scored an absolute screamer at Mansfield as well.
The bad news this week for Curzon Ashton is that striker Matt Warburton has left the club and joined National League North rival Stockport County. Matt Warburton came in last season and filled in Adam Morgan's sizeable boots, did a good job. He's now left. Will Curzon Ashton miss him?
I think they'll definitely miss him, yeah. But obviously he wants to advance his career. Stockport, no offence to Curzon Ashton, a big club, you know, getting crowds of 3,000 or 4,000 in, so naturally he will want to move to a club of that size. But Curzon Ashton, I think they'll recover from this. They're an attractive club now, 2 seasons in the National League North with pretty much a shoestring budget. I think it has become an attractive club to players.
Is Matt Warburton what Stockport County need? Because they seem to be lacking a bit of cutting edge last season.
Yeah, absolutely. If you look at the squad last season, there was only Danny Lloyd who scored the goals for them. He of course has moved to League One Peterborough United, so Jim Gannon definitely needed a striker, and I'm sure Matt Warburton will fill that role.
Well, Hyde United had a mixed season last season. They had a disappointing start but finished the season in great form. Mark went to Ewan Fields earlier this week and sat down with manager Darren Kelly, who reflected on the season.
Darren, a 10th place finish in the Evo-Stick Division 1 North. What were your views of the season?
Up and down really, just you know, in terms of the start of the season I thought there was too many draws, I suppose too many losses as well, not enough wins. As you know, every season teams have certain expectations. I wanted to get off the ground running. We started well, so in terms of the start of the season I thought it was poor, if I'm being honest. I thought, you know, we were finding out what the league was about, finding about the quality of teams, the quality of player. And to be honest, we learned pretty much when we played every team once. We knew what we had to do, so much so getting into, I think from probably about the 26th of December we went on, we've been fantastic. I think we only lost 2. If we had started the season how we finished it, we probably would have won the league. So we know what we need to do in terms of next season.
So what were your ambitions at the end, at the start of last season? Was it to get promotion or just to consolidate a position in this division?
Yeah, I think, do you know what, when you go in and you chat to your board and things like that, where you go and you say you want to go win the league, I think ideally that's what every manager wants to go and do, get in the league, or, you know, top 3 finish in the hope of getting promoted or getting into the playoffs or something like that. I think it was probably fooling myself, if I'm being honest. Through the experience of last season, it can only hold us in great stead going forward. As I say, you know, we've learned a lot from the start of the season, especially. You know, the players that we had, I thought we would really go and make a good push. I was wrong. So much so then obviously we changed it around coming into the second part of the season, and we went and really made a good push. You know, I thought we were exceptional.
So are you looking to build on the squad over summer, or are you just going to keep some of the main source of the squad?
Yeah, as you said in one of the earlier questions, you know, we're going to keep the nucleus of the squad. But, you know, everything we know we need to add, we know what we need to bring in to be successful. You know, it's not just about 1 to 16. For me, it's about 1 to 26, and that's including the young lads. Because the thing about it is we'll be relying on them. It's going to happen throughout the season, even the start of the season. The like your big boys, people like that, young players who'll come into the fore, and they got to be ready, and that's what we got to make sure. You know, we've identified 3-4 players that we want to bring in, as well as the players, you know, from last season, and that linked into obviously the academy players. If we gel that together, work hard, get it going, I think we'll be right up there.
Brilliant.
So Mark, as Darren said there, an up and down season for Hyde, but they finished it on a high.
Yeah, absolutely. In 10th spot, I think it was 11 points outside the playoffs. You look at the form in 2017, they only lost 2 league fixtures. If they'd have put that run together just before Christmas, they would definitely have been in the playoffs. You look at the squad, Darren Kelly kept the core of his squad, the likes of Matt Beadle, who came in just before Christmas, 4 months at the club, 18 goals, got the Golden Boot Award at the end of season award ceremony. They've also got a lot of youth players coming through, the likes of Big Cam Zuck and Pete Boyle, and of course Paddy Miller, who joined from Farsley Celtic. So it looks very positive at Ewan Fields.
So we spoke a lot about Hyde last season, if they could carry on that momentum into next season. As you mentioned, they've kept the core of that squad. Surely that'll help.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've just got to take the form from this half of the season into next season, and there's no reason why they shouldn't be pushing. Like we said then, they've managed to retain Matt Beadle, who scored 18 goals in 4 months. Imagine him throughout the entire season. Positive things for the club.
So we'll talk about cricket now, and as we mentioned earlier, we are here at Micklehurst Cricket Club, the most stunning surroundings in Tameside, Mark, surely, to play cricket.
Absolutely, you couldn't wish for a better place to play cricket. Look at the scenery, look at the hills, absolutely beautiful. It'd be good to see a lot of juniors come to the club, because of course cricket clubs do need junior sections to prosper these days.
Well, I spoke to first team captain Stuart Chamley earlier today, and he said despite a mixed start to the season for Micklehurst, the future is bright. Yeah, so Stuart, thanks for having us here at Micklehurst. What's it like to play on this pitch with this view and these surroundings every week?
There's not many better. When it gets full, the odd weekend when the sun's out, when the sun's out, we can get a few hundred people up here. There's not many better. It's like at many grounds in the league and surrounding areas, and nowhere compares to this place.
So before we move on to this season, we'll just look back at next season. A disappointing one for the club. How would you reflect on it?
Yeah, all we can say, we've got a very, very young team. We've got out the first team maybe 9 or 10 under the age of 30. So it's always a learning curve for us. I'm only 24.
Yeah.
So it's just guiding the younger lads through. If we can all stick together, we can only prosper from what we gain.
And what have you made to the start of this season?
We've had a tough start. We've had a couple of good innings and good bowling figures from the odd, but no one ever seems to come together at the same time. So we always have 1 or 2 doing it rather than the entire team. So we might set a decent total, but then the bowling side might let us down, or vice versa. But it's just trying to hit the nail on the head and get it all right on the same day. I think the only game we can actually turn around and say, yeah, we played really well, was against Ashton away. I think we posted 170 and bowled them out for 30 on a very uneven wicket, but it's what you need to do against teams, I guess.
Just need to find that consistency then. So how difficult is it though to compete against teams because there's teams in this league with much bigger budgets than yourself, so how difficult is it to compete?
I think it's more, what would be the right way of saying this? We played against Shaw this weekend, and Sad Mahmood plays for him. Yeah. He's an ex-England star, Lancashire star, and I think you're more in awe of some of the players you actually play against. Last year Milnrow had a bloke called Rudy Second. He's a top-notch professional. So sometimes I think you're more in awe, and it's just putting your skills against them, see how well you can actually compete against these stars. And luckily for us, Sajmu didn't come off this weekend, but I'm sure he probably will one or twice this season. But Yeah, it is difficult. I think a lot of teams pay over the odds for a lot of players as well, where it's just finding that level head where you can compete every week. It's difficult, but I guess we can only keep trying and see what comes our way.
One area this club thrives is the youth set up with lots of success in younger ages. You must be doing something right in that area.
Well, it looks like that, yeah. Young Tom White, for example. There's a few. There's Eric Walters, Xavier Burton. There's quite a few young lads up here that are making waves in the second team. Young Tom, for example, last weekend, 107 out. Second team, he's 14. It's unheard of. Yeah, very good potential. It's unheard of in senior cricket for a 14-year-old. So if he can carry on, he'll be a good prospect for us.
So with so much sort of competition in Tameside, how hard is it to not only attract but then keep hold of young players like Tom?
Again, I think it goes back to the money side of things. A lot of cricket these days is based around money. If you can keep your players without the money, that's an even better challenge. But you have a lot of teams come and poach your young players, take them away, and it's like building from the bottom again. You do all the work and then they go and play and contribute for other teams. But I do feel that with the young stars we do have, and they are stars, I think if we can keep them all together, we can only perform better and go up the leagues.
Well, Aaron Lilly is one success story. He's obviously now playing for Lancashire, having played here at Micklehurst. That must be a great source of sort of pride and inspiration as well for the young team.
Yeah. It's we've all played with Aaron quite recently as well. He played in a game in Tamworth up here last year, and to actually look at how much he's come on, not just from when he left us, from when he's joined Dell, from playing for Lancashire. If that's the standard you've got to get at, you can't even compete with it. You can't compete with that. But it is nice to feel that a lad of Aaron's calibre was once playing cricket up here. And hopefully the likes of Tom and some of the other young lads can follow in his footsteps with Lancashire.
So in other sporting news, we're under a month away now from the Tour of Tameside, which runs from June the 15th to June the 18th. Mark, I know you're running the Hyde 7 mile. How's training going?
Not too badly, to be honest with you. I've been running solidly for about 6 months now. Sold my car last year, decided that I was going to run to and from work, which is 6 miles each day. So I'm clocking up the miles that way, feel fresh, feel good. I'll be running for Macmillan Cancer Support this year, which is the official charity partner. So if anyone does want to sponsor me, then I've uploaded a Just Giving link to the TamesideReporter.com.
Excellent. I know you did the same event last year. What was your time and are you looking to beat it this year?
It was 52 minutes last year. I'm looking to beat it, although if I don't, I won't be too disappointed. It's all about raising money at the end of the day.
Well, good luck to Mark and all the other runners running in the Tour of Tameside. That's all for this week, but don't forget, for a more in-depth roundup of Tameside sports, you can listen to the Sporting Spotlight tonight at 6 o'clock on Tameside Radio.